All right, you guys, happy Sunday. Welcome to Sunday Q&A number 16. Let's see who is dedicated. I know this is a Memorial Day weekend. Hope you guys are having a good Memorial Day weekend. And so let's see who is dedicated enough to join me live and get your wholesaling question answered. So any wholesaling question, whether you're meeting the seller or you do it virtually, drop it in the comment. I'll do my best to answer it, all right? So any question, guys, drop it in the comment. Also, too, is let me know where you're coming in at. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the family. Welcome to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. And the rules is as you enter, you got to smash those thumbs up. So when you do, I'm going to give you a shout out. So let me see here. Who do we got? Franklin, what up? Congrats on 6K sub. Hey, thanks a lot, buddy. Thank you so much. And obviously couldn't have done it without your guys' help. So thank you so much for every single one of you guys' support, smashing that thumbs, dropping the comments, all kinds of stuff that you guys are doing for me. I really, truly appreciate it. So Sean Johnston, dedication, everybody that shows up. This is commitment and dedication. So thank you so much for taking the time to join me. We're going to do a quick Q&A. I don't have that much time, probably 30 minutes if I can. So hopefully any question you have, drop it in a comment. Let's get an answer. Wife and I are heading out to Maryland to meet my mentor. And we're going to meet at one of his hub city RIA. So if you guys are in the local area, please come and join us. I think it's going to happen on Thursday. It's the first Thursday of every single month. It's happening on a Thursday, June 14th, and I think it started at 6. We might be there early, but it's like from 6 to 10. So if you guys can come, meet in person, high five, hugs, whatever you guys want to do, and we can talk real estate the whole time. Alex, what up? Welcome to the channel and the family, buddy. Happy Sunday. Michael, happy Sunday. Joe Dirt, what up? Happy Sunday. Devin Harrison, happy Sunday, North Carolina, great. George, Gregory, happy Sunday. What's the best site for lists? Well, the best site for lists, we use ListSource. It's listsource.com. That's where we get all of our lists. Candace, happy Sunday. Any question you guys want to have, drop in a comment, you guys. Wholesaling, if you guys are new to this business or you just recently discovered this business, take advantage of it. When I was in my 20s, or obviously, you know, when I was in my teens or my 20s, I wasn't aware of such a business. So if you guys are exposed to wholesaling, man, take advantage of it. Believe that this business is possible and believe that you can do it. Dig into it, dive into it, and uncover it. And I promise you, whatever you're making right now in a year, annually, you can turn it into your monthly income, even weekly. And if Khang can do it, if I can do it, so can you guys. High school dropout, coming over here from Vietnam, knowing nothing about real estate. And if I can do it, you can do it too. With hard work, determination, focus, drive, everything you got inside of you, you can make it happen. You can take your annual income, turn it into monthly, even weekly, if that's what you truly want. But it's going to take a lot of hard work. Dustin Gray, what up, buddy? Happy Sunday, Khang. How do you feel about calling seller tomorrow on holidays? You know what, Dustin? That's pretty much up to you. I mean, I have done it. I even call people on Christmas. You know, just be polite with them. It's just a good time to chat. If they say no, you know, call back. It really depends on which list as well. If you cold call, you know, or if you calling back on appointment or you calling up on a follow-up, I think it's fine. Dustin, it's really up to you, man. But I mean, the worst case is they say, oh, I can't believe you call, I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. Tampa, Florida, Human, what up? Happy Sunday, James Stanley. Happy Sunday. You guys, thank you so much for every single one of you guys that can join me live, showing true dedication. And smash those thumbs up, you guys. Come on, we should get 28. But any question you guys have about wholesaling, virtual wholesaling, meeting, you know, this is what I teach you guys in my channel. And it's not like I come up with anything, you guys. This is everything I have learned and everything that I will be learning, and I'm going to share with you guys what's working, what's not working, and hopefully you guys can obviously learn from it, duplicate, and create. And now, Joe, I think that's what you're referring to, and it's a monthly, and there's a fee. We use instant checkmate, and there's a fee to it. They say that we cannot use them for cold calling or marketing. What did you say to make them give you access? Joe Dirt, that I don't know because I don't have I don't use TOO, so I don't. So I couldn't help you. I couldn't help you. So sorry. Alex, Kansas City, nice. This comes from Rivera. I can't pronounce your first name. How do you wholesale houses that have a mortgage? Paper, if you guys don't mind. I'm going to use a piece of paper. And if you don't understand, please let me know you don't understand. I'm going to try to make it as obviously as simple as it can be. So let's say that so let's just say that this property is worth $100,000. So which means in perfect condition, and what I mean by perfect condition is that this property here is fixed up, perfect condition, granite countertop, all upgraded or has been done in perfect condition. This property here worth $100,000, and typically, we call that ARV. Oh gosh, I froze. I froze. You guys, I don't know why, but my screen froze. I don't know if you guys can hear me. If you can still hear me, can see what I'm holding up here, comment below. Comment and let me know. Can you hear me? Oh man, this is bad. I can hear you. You can't see. Oh man. Okay, hold on a second. I don't know what I need to do. For something, my thing just froze. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. There's a bug. You guys, there was a bug. We have too many people watching, so the system crashed. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. Okay, so back to the question is, what if a property has a mortgage on it or any types of liens? If there's a mortgage or any types of liens, so we're talking about mortgage or any kind of liens on the property, how do we wholesale? Very simple. So let's just say that property is worth $100,000 in perfect condition, which means all the updates has been done. The property is worth $100,000. So which means a traditional buyer, which means buyers that's going to get financed from the bank, is going to pay you $100,000 for this property. Okay. So ARV, and that's what they call them, ARV, is after repair value. So in perfect condition, this house is worth $100,000. And let's just say that this property here has a there is a mortgage on it for $40,000. Okay, so let's just say, I'm sorry, I'll put "and" for mortgage. So let's just say that this property has a mortgage of $40,000 still owe on the property. Okay, so let's just say that I have a house, and my house I still owe $40,000 on it, but my house worth $100,000. So if I were to go and list my property with an agent, I will list my property and it's worth $100,000, but I still owe $40,000 on it. Okay, so I still owe $40,000 on it. Okay, and now I'm going to combine everything, and let's just say that there is some liens. So let's just say that the seller also owes some liens on the property, which means maybe they took out a second mortgage, or maybe they have some property taxes owed. And I'm just going to make the number small, and let's just say that there is a $2,000 liens on the property. Doesn't matter what kind of liens. It could be utility liens, property taxes liens, any kind of liens. So which means, so when the seller goes and sell this property, the $40,000 and the $2,000 need to be paid off. Okay, need to be paid off. Are you guys following me? So basically when the seller goes sell the property, the $40,000, which is the mortgage that's owed on the property, that needs to be paid off. Any liens that's on the property needed to be paid off. So that way the buyer can get a clear title. Yes, this is great information. Okay, great. So that way the buyer, who's ever buying the property, gets what it's called clear title. If I misspell, I apologize. But which means so that way the buyer who's ever buying this property gets the clear title to the property, which means the property now, there's no liens, there's nothing against the property, okay? And that's what buyer wants, is a clear title. So for buyers to get clear title to the property, any liens, any mortgage, anything that's owed on the property needs to be paid off and clear, okay? So until everything is cleared off, is paid off, there is no way that the title company will close on that transaction. Okay? So there's no way that the title company will close on the transaction, which means there's no way that the title company will go ahead and let the buyer takes over, because on the agreement, the buyer said, hey, they will only close on this property if there's the title is free and clear. I'm sorry, if there's a clear title. So the buyer said, hey, I would only buy this property if we can get clear title to the property. So which means the title company, if there's any liens, any loan, anything against the property, it needs to be clear and it needs to be paid off, whether by the seller or the buyer, before the buyer can get clear title to the property. So now let me break it down a little bit more. So here's the $40,000. There's the mortgage, $2,000 in liens that's all on the property. So how would you wholesale it? So basically, you want to go ahead and use your formula, which is the formula most investors use, which is ARV. So make sure you guys let me know you're still following me. ARV, which is after repair value, minus 30%, which is the 30% discount. So when you go and you buy a product, let's just say when you go and you buy a product, you want 30% discount on that product. So which means typical most investor, and this is just a rule of thumb, it doesn't have to be 30% off, okay? But this is just a rule of thumb where majority of the time investor would like 30% off on the property. So they would like 30% off on the property. So you got to take the ARV, which is the house in perfect condition. In this case, we said 100. You got to minus automatically. You got to minus the 30% discount. So you're going to take 100. You're going to minus the 30%. So which puts you at 70,000. And you're not done yet. So that puts you at 70,000. Okay. Now so right here, I'm going to stop for a second. So if this house here, so let's just say a seller calls you and said, hey, my house in perfect condition. It doesn't need any more work. It has granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. It has everything. But I need to sell this house quick and I need to go. There's no repair that you guys have to worry about doing. And the reason why I stopped here, because I did have a question. I did have one of our subscribers ask this question. Can I still wholesale, or how do I negotiate or make an offer to the seller if the house is in perfect condition? Normally, if the house is in perfect condition, probably majority of the time it's not a deal, but it depends on the seller motivation, right? There are property where we got locked up on the contract where it doesn't have all the granite countertop and the stainless steel appliances, but it doesn't need any kind of repair. It's in a standard rental condition, which means there's no major issue. We need to go in, maybe some paint or some carpet and things like that, and it's all ready to go. But the seller doesn't want to list it with an agent because they don't want to go through the hassle. They don't want to wait until 30, 40, 60 days for their property to sell, because a typical normal buyer, what I mean by typical normal buyer is these are buyers that for them to buy the property, they don't have cash. All right, they don't have cash. They don't know about private money. They don't know about hard money. They typically go through and get a loan from the bank to buy this property. So typically to close on a piece of property, it's going to take about 30 to 45 days. Typically, 45 days is probably the average. 30 days really pushing it, okay? So I'm Joe Dirt. What skip trades do you use, Khang? Joe Dirt, we use instantcheckmate.com. So in this case, let's just say that if this owner say, hey, there's no repair needed, it's in perfect condition, so which means the cash buyer, the investor, would pay you $70,000 just to buy this property from you. So the property is worth 100, and you negotiated with the seller at a 30% off. You got the seller to come down 30% discount. So which means you're at 70,000. So now you cannot lock this property at $70,000. You have to lock it under contract at less than $70,000. So let's just say that if you want to make a $5,000 assignment fee or wholesale fee, you got to minus the $5,000. So which means you got to negotiate with the seller and try to tie that property up under contract at a $65,000. So you got to tie it up at $65,000. So now you can market and saying, hey, I have a wholesale deal on here, and then you can now send it out at $70,000. Okay, so this is in perfect condition. Okay, so all I did was take off the $30,000. That puts at $70,000, and you gotta get it under contract at less than $70,000. So if you want to make $1,000, you gotta tie it up at $69,000. Okay, so but I'm giving you example. Let's say you want to make $5,000, so you gotta minus $5,000 from the $70,000. So which means you gotta get the seller to agree to sell to you at $65,000, so you can market it to other cash buyer investor for $70,000. So that way you can make your $5,000 assignment fee. Okay, now are you guys following me? So now let's just say that there are let's just say that this property is not in perfect condition and it needs about $10,000 in work to put in perfect condition, whether it's update the kitchen or the bathroom. So let's just say it needs $10,000 in work. So we go with $100,000, which is in perfect condition. Now you minus the 30%, which is normal. Most investors want is a 30% discount on that property. So on that products, they want a 30% discount. So now you're at $70,000. Now remember, now you have repair that you got to minus. So it needs, this property here needs $10,000 in repair. So you got to minus the 10. So that puts you at $60,000. So what that means is the cash investor would pay you $60,000 for this house or for this property, because he has to then put another $10,000 into the property to be at the $70,000 where he wanted to be, and then he's going to list the property at $100,000. Do you guys follow me? So which means you got to now tie the property up under contract. If this property needs $10,000 in repair, you got to tie the property up under contract for less than $60,000. So if you want to make $1,000, you got to tie it at $59,000. If you want to make a $500 wholesale fee, then you got to tie it at $59,500. Does that make sense? Now, if you want to make a $20,000 on this, you got to tie this property up under contract at $40,000. Okay? So let's just say that you tie this property up under contract at $50,000 because you want to make a $10,000 wholesale fee. Now, check this out. So if you tie this property up under contract at $50,000 and the seller owes $42,000 on the property because there's a mortgage of $40,000 and there's some liens of $2,000, okay? So which means that the seller needs to pay, the seller owes, so that means the seller owes $42,000. Oh my God, I'm scribbling everywhere. Hold on a second. Could you guys comment and let me know that you're following me and that this makes sense? So let me know if this makes sense. Your screen is backward. So am I upside down? Am I upside down? Backward. I'm not sure. Makes sense. Okay, good. So so you tying this property up under contract for $50,000. And the seller owes $42,000 on the property. The mortgage is $4,000. There's some liens and stuff on there. Can you lean back? Taking care of all the closing costs. Okay. And I will get to that. So which mean here, so the seller owes $40,000. So the seller has a $40,000 mortgage and a $2,000 lien on the property. So it doesn't matter. It could be any kind of lien. So which means the seller technically owed $42,000 on that property. And the seller now agreed to sell to you for $50,000. Now, you guys got to take into consideration there are closing costs that the seller has to pay. You would need to mirror screen for us to read it. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Ray. So basically, so if a seller agrees to sell at $50,000, okay, to you, there is some closing costs that the seller has to pay, and there are normal closing costs that the buyer has to pay. Typically, if a buyer comes in with all cash, it's roughly going to cost the buyer about 1%. And now that's in my area, and that's just a rough estimate. Okay, so if I was a cash buyer, I come in and I'm going to buy this property, and the seller agreed to sell to me for $50,000, and I agreed to buy it for $50,000. This is how much I, as a buyer, need to come to the table with. So I, as a buyer, would pay about $500 in closing costs on my buyer's end. All right, my buyer's side. And you guys, it's a plus and minus, but typically it's not that far off. So I just use the 1% for the buyer, okay? So which means as a buyer, if I'm going to buy this property, I'm going to come in at $50,500, and then I'll be able to buy this property. Now for the seller side, seller closing costs, the seller got to pay all the excise tax, which is probably the most. It's in my area, it's about 1.78. So let's just say 1.8, but typically altogether, I like to use a 3%, all right? And typically it's a plus or minus a few $100, very, very close, okay? But it shouldn't be more than 3% in my area. So the seller, if the seller was supposed to, if the seller agreed to sell this property to me at $50,000, and the seller's supposed to pay for the seller's own closing costs, and I, as a buyer, pay for my own closing costs. So at $50,000, now I got a plus 3%. So which means there is a closing cost fee for the seller of $1,500. So which means which means if you take $50,000 minus the $42,000 that the seller owe, the seller does not walk away with $8,000. The seller now, you got to minus the seller closing cost of $1,200. Oh wait, did I say $1,500? Yeah, $1,500. Which means the seller at closing would walk away $6,500. Do you guys follow me so far? Now, typically, as a investor, we comes in, and to make deal with the seller, we tell the seller, hey, we as a buyer is going to pay for all your closing costs. So which being whatever price that we come to an agreement on, that'll be the net amount you walk away with. So now you can go, well, we're going to buy for $50,000 and you owe $42,000, Mr. Seller, which means at the closing table, you are going to walk away with $8,000 net to you in your pocket, not a penny less, unless there's other liens that you are not aware of. But if everything is paid off, the $42,000, okay, and we as a buyer pay for all the closing costs, you, Mr. Seller, will walk away with $8,000. So now on the buyer side, you got to make sure that you understand that now the buyer got to pay for all the closing costs. So which means he got to pay for the $1,500 plus his $500. So the total is $2,000 in closing costs that the buyer will have to pay. So which means if the buyer and the seller agrees to at the $50,000 and the buyer said, hey, I'm going to pay for all your closing costs. So now he got to understand that there is another $2,000 on top of the $50,000. So the buyer himself or herself has to come to the table of $52,000 to buy this property, and then all the lien will be paid off, and the seller will walk away with $8,000 in their pocket. Now, let's just say if the seller owes more than what the seller is selling to you. So let's just say if the seller owes $51,000. Now, let's just say if the seller owes $51,000, okay? Oh, man, my chicken scratch. Now, if the seller owes $51,000 and the most you can pay for this property is $50,000. So the most you can pay is $50,000, but the seller owes $51,000. So how can you make this work? Well, I don't do owner finance or owner contract, but let me share with you. So if the most you can pay for this property is $50,000, the seller owed $51,000 and you said, hey, I'm going to pay for all your closing costs, but I got to be at $50,000. I'll pay for all the closing costs, so all the fees, but I got to be at $50,000. So now, which means the seller has to come to the table an extra $1,000 for this title to be clear, so that way it can get transferred over to the new buyer. So which means the seller has to come to the table of $1,000. If the seller doesn't have that, and you can't pay, and you can't come up to the $51,000 and pay for all the closing costs, so which means the seller will walk away breaking even. So which means then the deal cannot be done unless you are getting creative, where you do own a contract, lease options, sandwich options, sandwich. There's a bunch of things that you can do to this deal. But I just want to make it simple. This is a cash out free, a cash out buy comes in with cash paid off. I'm not talking about own a contract. I'm not talking about lease sandwich options, lease options on all of that. Or you can do a subject to. I'm not talking about that. But I'm saying if you come in, so which means if seller doesn't have 1,000 and you can't come up with 1,000, then there's no way that you can get this deal done beside creative financing. Okay. Do you guys follow me? So so does that make sense? So which means, so now let's just say that you can come in and you can say, hey, you know what, I'm willing to pay, I'm willing to come up 1,000. So now you're willing to come up to 51,000, pay for all the seller closing costs, which means the seller's just going to walk away from the property, breaking even. There's no money having to come out of the seller pocket, but the seller also not walking away with any money. So the seller's at zero now. Even, break even. So you as a buyer, you can come in and pay off of whatever they owe. So if they owe $51,000, you can come in, you can say, Mr. Seller, I'll buy your property at $51,000. I'll pay for all the closing costs, so you walk away breaking even, unscratched. And I'll come in, I'll take care of all the costs, all the fees. Because the most you can pay is $51,000. Does that make sense? But whether it has a loan or a mortgage, doesn't matter what it is. All you need to know is you just need to use the calculation of, like I said, if it's $100,000, you minus the 30%, that puts you at $70,000. If it needs $10,000 in repair, you got to minus that, $60,000. And then if you want to make a $5,000 assignment fee, now you got to lock that property up under contract at $55,000. And if the seller owe more than that, then you cannot make a deal unless you do lease option, rent to own, sandwich option, or subject to, things like that. Okay. As long as the seller owes less than that, then you can make the deal happen. So if you have to lock it up in a contract at $55,000 and the seller owes, let's just say the seller owes $54,000. Okay, so let's just say the seller has some mortgage and some liens on it at $54,000. So which means the seller now understands that he or she gonna walk away with $1,000. Because the buyer's gonna come in and the buyer's gonna buy it at $60,000, but the buyer gotta pay you as the wholesaler a $5,000 assignment fee. The buyer's gonna pay for all the closing costs, and then there's a $54,000 that needed to be paid off. So which means the seller will walk away with $1,000 in their pocket. Oh man, sorry about for those of you who are in this game already. I'm sorry for that, but that's a long answer. Hopefully I can help you guys clear a lot of stuff up. Franklin Taylor, happy Sunday. Something, but you want to clarify that it's not non-refundable in your contract. Okay, Franklin, same thing, but you want to clarify that it's non-refundable in your contract. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Maybe I have to go up. Cam in the way. Hey, Khang. Happy Sunday, Cam. I have a deal you can help me with. How much should I offer? Sean Johnston. Khang, give me a motivated seller test call. Okay, comment below who wants me to go ahead and call Sean right now for a quick, kind of like a cold call, a quick motivated seller call test. You guys, I got about 7, 8 minutes? Ray, go for it. Okay. All right, Sean. Here you go, buddy. So, Sean, I am going to call you. So basically, I'm going to call you off of one of. Maybe I'm just going to call you off of one of your marketing piece. Okay. So I got one of your postcard. So I'm going to call you. It seems like a lot of you guys like to do this cold call thing. I mean, when I first started, man, that's all I want. I was like, man, please, I really want to listen to how people talk and how people deal with seller, because I know that's the most important thing that I need to learn. 7291. So before I'm going to call you, Sean, I am a seller. Whether I'm motivated or not, that's for you to determine. But I'm going to call you off of one of your, let's just say one of your postcard. So it's going to come in. I'm going to call you. It's going to ring. So you act as an investor right away when I call.
Or calling does not accept unidentified calls.
Oh man. Shh. Sean, dude. It doesn't accept my doesn't accept the call that it doesn't know, bro. I'm gonna try one more time. Maybe you can take that away.
Your calling does not accept unidentified calls. If you are a solicitor, please hang up now.
Dude, Sean, dude, I just don't want my phone to blow up. Sean, give me another number, man. Give me a different phone number. Come on, Sean. Or you can just press 1. Who else want? It seems like everybody wants to do this quick cold call. So, Sean, who else want to do a quick cold call role play? House is 60K ARV, but has a 14K back taxes. Came in the way. It doesn't matter how much it owes. You just need to use the formula and then make the offer to the seller. But the offer, so what they owe has to be less than what you planning to take it, lock it up in the contract for. So if they owe $20,000 and your offer to them, the most you can go is $19,000, then it's probably not a deal, a cash out deal. So now you have to do an own a contract, a lease options, a rent to own, or a subject to. And I don't deal with that. Sean, dude, what's going on, man? Let me try to call you again. Come on, Sean. Seven 291.
Or calling does not accept unidentified calls.
Hit 1. Oh, so all I need to do is hit 1, Ray? So when I say that, I just need to hit 1. Dude, come on, Sean. Seven 291, and then I'm gonna hit 1. Come on, Sean.
Calling does not accept unidentified.
Oh, Ray, you're good.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Ready to Sell. My name is Alex. Do you have a house or property you're ready to sell today?
Hey, Alex. My name is Khang. I just got one of your you guys' postcards saying that you guys want to buy my property. So what is this all about?
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Well, that would mean that you're in one of our markets that we're currently looking to buy property. And if you've received one of our marketing, did you receive something in your mail?
Yeah, I got one of you guys' postcard, and was just curious, like, kind of what it's about. Are you guys buying property? You guys are interested in buying my property?
We certainly are. We buy property all over the United States and all 50 states, and we'd love to buy your house. Could you please give me your name, telephone number, and your property address, please?
Yes. Name is Khang. And probably, but the thing is, Sean, I'm not. I'm not ready to. I mean, you guys are the one. You guys are the one that sent me the postcard, and now you're asking for my property address.
Oh, I see. I understand. We send them all over the place, and we have a lot of different areas we send to. So generally, we don't have. My job is to take down all the information when you person calls in, and so I don't have your address at this time here. So could you please share that with me?
Yes, 123 Apple Street.
123 Apple
Um,
Street.
Sean is really good, man.
And may I have your telephone number, please?
Yes, 123 123 1234.
123 123 1234. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, may we take a minute here to share how our process works here at Ready to Sell?
Say that. Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yes, sure. I'd like to tell you about how our process works here at Ready to Sell, and we'll be able to tell you how that we'd like to purchase your house from you.
Well, I mean, I don't have time right now, Sean. I mean, I got one of your guys' postcards saying you guys want to buy my property, so I was just curious, what you guys can offer for it.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. So do you have time right now? Did we catch you at a bad time, or do you have a few minutes that I can explain this to you? Or would you like to call back where you have more time?
Well, I mean, I guess I got a few minutes. Is this going to be quick?
It can be. It can be short and take. We just need to answer a few simple questions, and then we can go from there. Do you have a few minutes?
Sure.
Oh, thank you. Great. Perfect. Excellent. Well, what we do here is how it goes is that you will answer some questions here with me, and we'll fill this out, and it's pretty short. It can take a little while. If it gets too long, you just let me know, and we can stop, take a break. I'll gather all that information, and then I will hand that over to our purchase department, where they will construct a fair and intelligent offer to make you an offer for your house. And one of our purchase managers will then give you a call back, most likely within 24 hours, possibly today, but most likely tomorrow. And they will set an appointment on the phone to have a phone appointment with you to go over the details and see if you two can come to an agreement on a purchase price for the sale of your house. How does that sound to you?
Sean, that sounds fantastic. And so Sean, dude, that is awesome, man. You are excellent. That was really, really good. The way that you handle the call, the way that you take my question, reframe it, and then ask me back questions. Take control of the phone call, dude. So I gotta say that was really good, man.
Great, excellent, thank you. And really appreciate that, Khang. I really appreciate all the advice you've been given online there. It's really helping me develop a little case here. And yeah, I want to open up a team, and I'm going to come out live, and we'll be on you. You know, a little competition for you. I'm going to go ahead and work in Seattle, Pierce, and Kitsap counties are the counties I'm currently working on developing. I'm probably going to come out and get open here maybe a couple more months. So I'll get off the phone now, and maybe next time I can do a part 2 where I'm the purchase manager, giving you a call back, and then negotiating the price, going through your house and trying to get you down on all your broken parts of the house and try to get your price down and all that.
Nice. Hey, Sean. Just a quick question for you. How long have you been doing this, and where do you learn how to talk just like that? Cause it's good.
I've never worked in sales ever. I just enjoy talking to people. I'm 51. Just looking to pick up a couple new businesses. I'm actually going to do some apartment syndicating too. So I'm going to get this wholesale business up and running, and I don't want to be in charge of it. I'm going to get it going, get the people and crew in there, and I'm going to just back out CEO it, basically mailbox money me, and oversee everything so that I can concentrate on apartment syndication. That's what I really want to do. And, was hoping maybe to partner with you someday, but I'll shoot you with that sometime, and we can make some millions of dollars together. But we'll talk about that another time. But so do you want to end the call now so you can get back online, or anything else, or any questions?
Absolutely, Sean. Hey, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the time. I really appreciate that you're able to get on the phone and do this. Thank you so much.
You know, Tom, can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
The number one thing, like I said, was like I listened to Grant Cardone, like you say too, was the people got to understand you're not trying to close the deal on the first call. You know what I mean? It's, you know, we'll get to that later. You know, I see a lot of the other callers, they like want to get you on the price, or they're too much. It's just an information gathering thing on the first call. Isn't that correct?
100% agree.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Tom. So I guess we'll just speak to you later.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, man. You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys. I gotta end. Sean, bravo. That was really good. Really, really smooth. Obviously, you guys can hear it. He's calm, collective. Really, really good. I mean, I don't have anything else to say about it. My whole thing is maybe I can do a part 2 where he's going to try to get me coming down on price and then lock me up on the contract over the phone. But maybe that could be in the next one. Thank you so much, you guys. Man, let me see if I can powerhouse out some more questions. Sean, that was great, man. Everybody give Sean a thumbs up. So smash that thumbs up for Sean. So any question, I'm gonna ask it really quick here. But as you guys can see, where Sean is saying, hey, you know what? My job is actually to gather all the information regarding the property, so that way my purchase manager can construct you a fair and intelligent offer. I mean that's exactly how we talked in our script. And he is the first call. You guys gotta understand. Most of the time, the first call, just like Sean said, all the other people, they trying to make a deal, something happen. But it's just a part 1 where all you do is you just collecting information from the seller, determine motivations, trying to get the price from the seller, all the price, what they want to walk away with, what they owe, etc. And also too is, all the rehab costs that is needed. And then you set them up an appointment, but you got to prep them up and get them commit to when you call back that second appointment, that they are ready to go once you guys can agree on the price. Which means once they agree on the price, once they and the purchase manager can agree on the price, so that way they can ready to move forward. So you want to prep them up and get them locked up and saying, hey, the second phone call, all the decision maker, whoever it is, that they are ready to go, okay? So you guys got to understand that it's not the first phone call that you want to lock it up. It's the second phone call, because you want to get their commitment, and then you lock it up on the second one, okay? And the second one doesn't have to be the next day. It doesn't have to be the next day or so. It could be an hour or 2 hour or 3 hour, depending on seller motivations of where the price coming in at. I have done it where we typically set the next day, but if I see the numbers are really hot, then I call back the seller within the next an hour or 2 hours or so. I'll just tell my VA, hey, you know what? We can push the appointment up. So tell the seller, hey, you know what? We got some time open where we can call them back within the next hour or 2. Is that going to work for them? Then they'll set it up for me. I'll call them back, lock it up, or my other or one of my purchase manager will do it. Okay, Khang, I have a deal. Okay, how much to offer? Blah blah blah. Something, but you want to clear. Okay. So, anyways, you guys, any question I can pop in 1 or 2 questions. Let's get an answer. J. William Khang, I am based in the UK. Do you think there will be a communication issue talking to seller in the US? Jay, I don't know what you mean by that. As long as you are good in English. If you have an accent or something like that, to be honest, if you are part of the company, there's no big deal. I mean, we hire girls from Philippines, and they have, obviously the English is good, but you still have somewhat of an accent, and never seem to have a problem. Khang, love you. If you do not want to drive for dollar or use bandit sign, how much monthly budget do you need for mailer to get started in a big city? Well, if it's in a big, so basically the NJK123. So 123, I'm just gonna call it 123. If you're in a big city and if you are just starting out, New York City. If you are just starting out, I would like you to narrow down, pick a couple area. maybe in that city, pick a couple area that you can start sending out your mailer. Depend on how much money you have. But if you first starting out, you know, you still need to be able to know how to talk to seller, because if you set out too much marketing and you get a bunch of call coming in where you cannot handle, where you don't even have VA set up and all that, you're going to lose on a lot of deals. So to me, when I first started, the budget was between 500 to $1,000, and that's between 60 to 100,000 people. All right, 60 to 100,000 people, and I was spending $500 to $1,000 in marketing every single month. And you got to make sure that you break your marketing down so that way you're sending it out every single week, not once a month. Otherwise, you get a bunch of call coming in and you wouldn't even know what to do with it, and all of a sudden, and then you're going to lose on deal, and then you're going to go a couple weeks or 1 or 2 weeks without any calls, and then it's like a lot of call and then no calls. So you want to spread it out. I just want to close one deal a month to begin. So 1, 2, 3. 5, if you have, I mean, like I said, 500 to $1,000. If you have the money, I would say $1,000 consistently, so that way you can now getting, you know, calls coming in, know how to talk to seller. Because I don't want you to waste your money, dump a bunch of marketing in, you know, spending a couple thousand, $5,000 or $10,000 in marketing, and then you get a bunch of call coming in, and you don't have employee line up already to handle these calls. You're going to lose out on a lot of deals. If not, you're going to work crazy hours, 15, 16, 17 hours a day, because the one thing that takes the longest is qualifying the leads. So when the seller calls in, you got to qualify the leads, see if the seller's motivated, and that takes a lot of time, okay? And you got to set follow-up, and you got to follow up with them. So just make sure, you know, dive in slowly, spend $500 to $1,000 per month, test it out, and then see how it feels. My budget is $50 a month. $50, I would say go get bandit. You know, if you're in an area, you can do bandit sign. 500 to 1,000 a month is in a tight area of about 40 to 50 population. Yep, I think 40 to 50. That's fine as well. 500 to $1,000. Just be consistent. You know, just be consistent in your marketing. And then just hit that property over and over again for 6 months straight, and just be consistent. I think if you were in that spending $1,000, 500, and knowing, but the key is you got to know how to handle the call and talk to the seller. Otherwise, you're gonna have calls come in, and you're gonna have an issue converting these leads into deals. You got to be able to know how to talk to seller. All right, because talking to seller is the most important thing that you can do in this business. And 1, 2, 3, if you are committed and ready and dedicated to succeed in this business and to do your first wholesale deal and consistently do one a month, and this is no pressure. It's what you want it or not. It's up to you. There's no refund. There's no exchange. Purchase my King Kong amazing seller script package deal, where you get access, private access to my Facebook group, where it's a small community there where we'll help each other, you know, doing and closing deals. And the package script will teach you how to talk to seller, how to handle seller objections, how to handle the calls, how to take the seller from the first phone call to the second phone call and lock it up under contract all over the phone, and how to negotiate with seller, getting seller to come down on price, not just by saying, hey, could you go any lower? Could you do anything better? What's the least you take? But you got to have a reason behind why you want the seller to drop price, all right? And talking to seller is so important. I mean, as you can see, when I was on the call with Sean, you see how he handled that. Boom. How do I get the package script? So Jeffrey, the package script is in the descriptions. Go to Wholesale 2 million, no S, but the link is in the descriptions. To buy it is $4.95, but before you buy it, I want to make sure that you, Jeffrey, you got to understand that before you buy it, you got to be ready and committed to be successful, to succeed in this business. It's going to take work. It's going to take some time of grinding, of working, but I'm going to share with you everything you need to know how to talk to seller. And that's exactly the script that we use to train all of our VA up. And that is the script that we use to train my mentor VA. And within 6 months, you know, got his virtual wholesaling business up to 6-figure. And all from scratch, all right? And like I said, I made it so simple, just like Sean's talk, so simple that you can take that script, turn it over to any VA, train anybody up, and they're able to crush it on the phone and locking property up under contract. You can do it, or your VA can do it, all right? But you guys, for those of you who's looking to scale up, and you're a one-man or one-woman show, let me ask you a question. How do you scale up if you cannot duplicate yourself? If you don't know how to talk to sell, if you're talking to seller and if you're not consistent with all the questions you're asking the seller, how would you pass that along to your team so that way your team, so you can hire on a VA or you can send it into Pat Life and have them talk, and have them follow your script, okay? So to scale up, you must learn how to duplicate yourself. And that's how I was able to scale up, you guys. Because like I said, filtering the calls is the most, it takes the longest. So Jeffrey, if you are ready and committed, when you join the Facebook group, you will know, I don't want to overpromise you guys anything. The private Facebook group is just a bonus, but you get unlimited seller live call that I do with seller, where I use the script and you guys will listen to how I talk to the seller on the script. It's not something where I just say, hey, this is the script, here, go. No, you will be able to listen to me. It's exactly how I talk to seller, exactly how I get them to drop down on price and lock it up under contract all over the phone. But when you get access to the private Facebook group, you guys, I try to do more than what I can. All right, I try to do more than what I can. I'm active on there. I'm answering your guys' questions. So let's say you have a deal you're working on. You can break on questions, and I'll be able to listen to it, watch it, and then be able to comment back a video and respond back to you to answer your questions. And once you get in there, you know what I mean. I try to add as much value as I can to you guys, because I understand, for those of you who first start out, maybe this is a big investment. And how do I know that? My wife and I, when I first started in this business, I understand. All right, I understand. But what I'm telling you guys is the return on it is infinite. What to say that you got one thing from the script and you talk to the seller and you're able to get the seller to come down $500. That's $500 already in your pocket, but you get unlimited seller call. You be on the Facebook forever, right? And we're in there. I'm going to hold you accountable. So until the only reason why, two reasons I'll let you get off is one, you close your first wholesale deal. Two is you outgrown. You're outgrown the group. There is no more value that we can add to you. All right. And like I'm telling you guys, I'm going to share with you guys everything I've learned, everything I will be learning. I'm going to bring back the knowledge, and then I'm going to share with you guys on there where I cannot share with you guys on YouTube. I'll share with you guys on the private Facebook group, because you guys are the one that's willing to take the step forward and commit, invest in yourself, and invest in me, believing my products, it's going to work and it's going to be for you. And that's why I'm willing to invest back and give back to you guys. I'm looking into doing an RVM, ringless voicemail. I'm going to test it out. I'm going to try it, because when you have the money, you can test it out. All right. And when you lose on the money, you don't really care. But when you have a tight budget, you want to make sure, does that work or not? And what I'm telling you, the products I'm sending you, the package seller, the amazing seller, the King Kong package script deal, it's not something where I don't know it's going to work or not, right? It's not something where, oh yeah, you know what? Khang is the only one that's doing the deal, so maybe he's already good at talking to seller. No, I know it worked, because any VA my wife trained up, and she typically role play with them, train them up for about a week or so, and then she let them go live, talk to seller, and they're able to lock it up. So we know that anybody can do it, all right? So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for your time, but please don't buy if you are not ready or not committed, because I want you to understand that in this business, it's when you first started out, it's going to take work. It's not an overnight success. All right. Things don't happen overnight, happen over time. But if you are serious about this business, man, when you get into the small community that we have on private Facebook group, it's a small community. Everybody's on there helping each other out. There's people that posting deals, and then people will go on there and comment and telling you, oh, hey, this is what you should offer to the seller. No, the rehab on that is the rehab cost on that is too much, because the bedroom and bathroom, this should be the rehab cost. So it gives you more of a clarity. You can network with other people on there and things like that. So my goal is to be able to see you guys do your first wholesale deal. Oh yeah, the deal trophy. And of course, for being a part of the wholesaling family, when you close your first wholesale deal, boom, look at what I'm sending you. Jose is already getting his first one. Jose just closed his first deal. It's not a wholesale. I'm sorry, it's not a wholesale deal, but he was able to study the script, and then all of a sudden, so the script got him confident because he didn't know all the questions that he needed to ask the seller prior or before that. So what he did, he called back and follow up, and then used some of the stuff from the script and got the seller to come down to where he needed to be. So he closed on his first buy and hold deal. All right. So he's going to hold that for rental, but that's what you guys get. It will say, and then it will have your name. There's going to be a fourth line. I'm sending Jose one, and the company just confirmed it with me that it's being sent, so he should get it soon. I'm going to have him take a picture and post it on the page. So, Jose, if you are watching this, take a picture, post it on there, and share with everybody. And always, you guys, thank you so much for every single one of you guys. Truly appreciate it. And also, too, is you guys will go, when you guys get access to the private Facebook group, you guys, I'm trying to upload a call that I have with realtor, call that I have with other investor, buyers, agents, and I'm going to try to upload those onto the page so you guys can listen to it. And a lot of times, when you first started, you don't know where to get the experience from, right? Knowing, what people say, how people talk, and that's where I wanted to share with you guys. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much. Sean, that was a great call. Thank you so much, man. Just by hearing how you talk to the seller, I know you're going to do great. You just, once the call comes in, I know you're going to be able to crush it on the phone just by knowing how, the way you handle the call and talking to the seller. Thank you so much, you guys. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video. Now, if for those of you who's new to the channel, who's are interested in learning about wholesaling, smash the subscribe button. Drop me any comments, any question you have about wholesaling, virtually or not. And what I teach you guys in my channel is how to do it virtually. I do not go out and meet the seller. I do not see the property. I do not need to see the buyer. I'm doing this all